Hey folks, Mike Johnson here. If it's got wheels and an engine, you're in the right place. On this channel, we dive into car repairs, maintenance tips, and everything you need to keep your ride running smooth. If you're into cars and want to keep learning, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. All right, enough talking. Let's get into it.
Crankshaft position sensor measures the speed and position of the crankshaft. The variable reluctance type CKP sensor does this by detecting changes in magnetic flux between the peaks and valleys of a reluctance wheel on the crankshaft. The powertrain control module, PCM, uses this information to sequence ignition timing and, in some cases, fuel supply, detect cylinder misfires and control the camshaft position actuator, if fitted. An interruption of this signal will trigger fault code P0336. What does fault code P0336 mean? Fault code P0336 means crankshaft sensor, performance to limit problem. This engine code is set when the PCM receives a signal from the crankshaft position sensor that deviates from specifications. For example, on a 2015 Chevrolet Camaro, P0336 is set under the following conditions. Condition 1, the ECM detects that at least 10 crankshaft resynchronizations have occurred in 10 seconds. Condition 2, ECM does not detect the synchronization deviation on the reluctor wheel for more than 0.4 seconds. Condition 3, ECM does not detect synchronization deviation on reluctor wheel for 1.5 seconds after starter engagement. Condition 4, ECM detects less than 51 or more than 65 crankshaft position sensor pulses during one engine revolution for 8 out of 10 engine revolutions. For additional technical information that may help you solve P0336 if you're planning a DIY fix, read our discussion of variable reluctance type CKP sensor operation. Note, the definition of code P0336 may differ depending on the vehicle manufacturer. Consult the appropriate repair manual or repair database for the exact code definition. What are the possible causes of code P0336? Defective crankshaft position sensor reluctor ring problems, e.g., broken, loose, dislodged, incorrectly installed, etc. Crankshaft position sensor connector problems, e.g., corroded, wet, damaged, etc. Crankshaft position sensor circuit problems, e.g., damaged wiring, loose connections, or electromagnetic interference, etc. Defective camshaft position sensor disturbed signal between sensor and reluctor wheel PCM problems, software update required. What are the common symptoms of code P0336? Check that the engine light is on difficult motor start hesitations during acceleration or stalling, engine misfires in one or more cylinders, engine dies and won't restart, reduced fuel consumption. How to diagnose code P0336? Testing a crankshaft position sensor requires automotive technical knowledge that most drivers may not have. At the same time, the repair and diagnostic steps for code P0193 tend to vary according to vehicle year, make and model. For example, confirmed fixes for AP0336 in Chevy are unlikely to be the same as solutions for AP0336 in Jeep. How to repair P0336? In some cases, disassembling and programming a crankshaft position sensor requires special tools that you may not have in your garage. If you want to save yourself the trouble of figuring these things out yourself, have your vehicle checked by a licensed mechanic instead. If you're an advanced DIYer with an in-depth knowledge of automotive repair, you can refer to the repair manual applicable to your car, or use your AllData subscription to search for vehicle-specific repair information. You can also consult these automotive repair resources and guides online. Other notes on P0336. Code P0336 belongs to a range of crankshaft position sensor codes which are triggered by a sensor circuit malfunction, a P0335 crankshaft position sensor, a circuit malfunction, P0337 crankshaft position sensor, a circuit low input, P0338 crankshaft position sensor, a high circuit input, P0339 crankshaft position sensor, circuit intermittence. A closer look at the CKP variable reluctance sensor. The variable reluctance sensor, VRS, is essentially a coil of fine wire wound around a magnet, and the tip of the magnet is near the teeth of the crank sensor's trigger wheel. This will be a 36-tooth wheel with one tooth missing. It's called a 36-1. There are 10 degrees of angle between each of the regular teeth. This is often referred to as the crankshaft angle sensor. Each time a tooth on the reluctor wheel passes the magnet tip, it creates a magnetic wave which is emitted by the sensor terminals. It is this wave that the ECM to PCM uses to determine how often to trigger the injectors and when to release the ignition coils. The faster these relucent teeth pass the tip of the magnet as the motor accelerates, the higher the signal voltage and frequency. This means the wave will be higher, and the waves will be closer together in time. This is how magnetic sensors always work, whether they're reading the speed of a wheel, as with ABS, driveshaft, or crankshaft. The missing tooth on the crankshaft's reluctor wheel causes the CKP sensor to create a larger wave at that point, enabling the ECM PCM to identify the crankshaft's position. The other type of crankshaft position sensor is a Hall effect unit which produces a square wave signal. The trigger wheel is the same, but the signal is different. Hall effect sensors may have 2 or 3 wires, depending on the sensor design. This type of sensor is just as common as the VIS type, even more so on more recent vehicle models.